Yep. Thank you so much for being on the show. And I know you've done so many things. You're very involved in multifaceted art. And we're on a beautiful location, so I would like for you to tell us where we are. And this is my first time here. It's a very cool place. And then we'll start in the beginning.
So yeah, I'm here at Postmodern right now, and this is like one of the #1 skate shops around. Currently here in Palm Beach County. So, questions you want to ask?
Well, before we get to the skating,
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about you before we get to the arts.
Okay.
Some of your background, and then kind of walk us to how did you fall in love with the arts in general.
Okay, so I'm originally from Barbados. I came here in '94 for college. I grew up skating in Barbados. When it came to the arts, I was always doing it from since I was a kid. And the skating, I started at when I was at a young age. Back in the day where I grew up, the roads weren't paved, but my neighbor skated, and he kind of got me into skating a lot. And then we literally went into the city where all the major skaters were, because back in the 90s, early 90s, they had a really strong movement of skating in Barbados and the Caribbean. But you know, I was in Barbados, so I was exposed to that skating. So the skaters there always wanted to be like the American skaters. So it was pretty wild, and they were extremely good. So there are a lot of guys there that really empowered me, motivated me, mentored me. Some guys like Tony Holder, Paul Wilson, Matthew Humphrey, which is my neighbor. So he was the one who really pretty much guided me towards like the skating. And Clavier, Elon, Paul, many of them, Sean. But you know, we had a crew, and it was really empowering back then. So when it comes to me drawing, I always drew. I drew throughout high school. I stopped for a period of time, but I came here in '94 for college, and I got back into art then, and skating a little bit more. It was challenging with college for me here because there was no skate parks. So I skated here and there. People would pick me up. I would maneuver around the city here in Palm Beach, and had some challenges with that, with the cops, me being here for school, but it was a good time. Yeah, so the challenges were, you know, here I was at an international student, and I'm skating the police, and always an issue. Me, police, skating, no major paperwork, you know, multiple times I almost went to jail. And, you know, it was hard with the skating. I couldn't really maneuver as I wanted to. And, you know, back then, you know, I was here from another country, couldn't afford a car, you know, so I would just skate around, catch the tri-rails, back and forth here and there to Miami. I met some good skaters in Miami, but it was still hard. And sometimes, like, what am I doing? You know, I didn't come here for that. But, I worked it out. Things worked out, but you know, thankfully, I never went to jail. But I almost did so many times, and it would have been traumatic for me if I did. You know, my career that I was going to school for, I wouldn't even be in existence right now if that had happened, for skateboarding, no less. But you know, there were challenges. But I got my degree in psychology and art, and then I got my master's in counseling. So I was majoring in art because I wanted to go to architecture school, but then I worked at a firm. I was like, you know what, this ain't for me. I can't do this the rest of my life just sitting here. I need to move around. And the psychology connected to me a lot because my dad's a pastor in Barbados. So he just celebrated his 50 years of ministry. So I grew up in that environment. So the counseling was right in line to where I needed to be. And I was always stressed, how am I going to do psychology, my art, you know, skate. But I used to pray about it a lot, and it worked out. You know, I incorporate art into my counseling sessions, experiential. You know, I'm a licensed mental health counselor. I'm licensed by the state of Florida to practice, and I have a counseling practice with 3 clinicians and me and my business partner, we make up 5 total. Occupational therapy, licensed mental health counselors, social workers, and many of them are trained in the arts or creative writing, so when we all connect, we really make good moves, and we contract with companies from Martin County, Palm Beach County, Dade County, in rehab, mental health. I work with a not-for-profit called the Armory Arts Center. They're a teaching arts school here in West Palm. So I really focus on helping teens that have been through trauma, mental health issues. It was initially for human trafficking, but things change over time. The safe house is closed. So we made it more for mental health, and we've had a bigger influx of kids that we've been able to reach, but they must be part of some kind of programming, like we just wraparound service, a program like Boys Town, Legal Aid Society, companies like that, where the courts are connected somewhere to get a counseling already, but we're just a wraparound service that can come in to help. But my company is called Healing Art, and we service around the areas to really give people an experience, an unforgettable experience when it comes to counseling. We really want to do something different. I want to do something different. My business partner want to do something different. I worked in a psych hospital for 14 years, and I saw so much traumatic things. I was exposed to everything, every mental health disorder, people overdosing, people dying, people committing suicide. I saw all these things in front of my eyes. But it was good for me because it opened my eyes to psychology and helping people and leading people towards truth. That's my biggest thing, guiding people towards truth and helping them reach their next level of self. Some people wanted it, a lot of people wanted it, some people didn't, and some people over time changed and they got to that space. So my goal as a counselor is to help people gain the skills they need to manage their emotions. So I am trained to help all people. So I seek to be the best of myself, so therefore I try to give that to other people.
Wow. Now that's the reason why I love this project so much, because I'm learning so much from you, and at any given time, it's a different form of art that we're discussing. What you're doing is an art form, reaching out to people and using all your lifelong skills to help them become a better version of of themselves. So now we're going to take it back a little bit. Now, before we get into what you're doing now, what was it about skating that was so true to you, if I may use that word?
Yeah. So the skating, it just had a freedom to it. The tricks that I saw the guys doing, it was just mind blowing. I felt a connection with a group of people that I'd never felt before. And I love the art in it, from the graphics on the board like how we have here, just to know the processes that were going to creating the art on the board, the style of the skaters, the shoes, the gear, everything about it. It was just mind blowing. And I used to travel a lot for skating, just to visit places. So even when I was a kid, crazy story, I was 13 years old. My mom took me to the Brooklyn Banks in New York City. It was me, my mom, and sister. We got off the train, saw the Brooklyn Banks. I was mesmerized because I'd seen it on videos. And all I did was saw some skaters down the street. I left my mom and my sister at the Brooklyn Banks. I bolted, left them. My sister was bawling, crying. My mom was stressed out because she couldn't find me for hours, I think 2 hours. And I just went back at the spot, they were there. And my sister was like, "Oh, what did you do? You left us here." But that's how crazy connected I was with the skating. But over time, I connected with a lot of skaters in Barbados, as I mentioned, and my parents really were too keen on it. They rebelled a lot because I was doing it. But it was good for me. It built my confidence. It opened my eyes to art. And I met some really, really cool people. And throughout the years, I would travel to New York City constantly to go skating. I met a lot of pros. Here in Palm Beach, there were a lot of really good skaters that I connected with as well too. I went to as far as Japan to skate. My friends lived in Japan. I went there just for skating. I went there twice just to connect with the culture, just to meet different people. And whenever I travel, I always take my board with me. So the skating is just so artistic. Skateboarding is the future. People don't even know that. Now, they just finished them being in the Olympics, it's only a matter of time before it reaches a higher level. All these skate parks are being built. I just did that mural downtown here, West Palm, but on skating, like everything in it was skateboarding. So once skating is connected to it, I'm there. You know, but for me, a lot of it is individualized, where I can just be by myself sometimes and just as a release. When it's too many people for me, it can get overwhelming. But when I'm with a small crew of my friends that I'm connected with, I have a really, really good time. Or sometimes I have a good time with myself.
Now, do you find it, I don't want to use the word easier, but do you find it more manageable dealing in your practice because you have such a vast background in the arts to reach younger people that's having some difficulties dealing with things?
I do. Not only younger people, all people. And I would say with my practice, we really reach like, we have a 98% participation rate of all the clients that we work with. Our company sees like over 160 people a week, but we do a lot of group counseling, not individual, group counseling. And it's empowering. They're empowered, and we have directives that we connect with. We use psychology, art, writing, and other therapeutic skills, because the sessions are psychoeducational, and we really want to give them an experience they've never ever experienced before. We have so many testimonials of people that were telling us, I used to hate art, but the sessions you guys have are mind-blowing. I never wanted to participate in art, that was stupid, but we give them everything they need to be successful. We have all the materials there, stencils, everything with the directives, something we talk about artists, and we incorporate the artist's style into the work, and we have PowerPoints. We really focus on visualization. We really want them to get an experience, an unforgettable experience that they can apply skills to their life so they can improve and be better.
Now, this is amazing, because as I'm hearing you speaking, not only you are helping people, but you also bringing art into it. So in a way, you're moving art also forward with them. Not only they're going to heal, but as they're healing, they're going to remember not only you and your crew, but art was a major point in their lives. So they're going to be moving art forward. Who knows where they're going to go in their lives personally and also in art, because that was a catalyst for them.
Yes, and I've had clients that have gone to big art shows with big name artists who passed away, and because of sessions I did with those artists, they went to the art shows because of that. You know, and their minds were opened up so much more to art, whether it be folks like Edvard Munch or Basquiat or, you know, all these other artists we incorporate into our directives. So we really want to give them an experience, you know, and even some mild art skills that they can use, whether it be showing how to use pastel better or allowing them to break the barrier of being afraid to paint. I had a client years ago that, you know, this program I was at, they were literally so afraid of this guy. A lot of clients were afraid of him. And he was in a really bad space. He was in his 30s, but, you know, he used to like my sessions, and they wanted a therapist that was skilled in the arts and counseling to help him. So I was like, look, I'm available. So the first session we had, you know, we did a really good session, but he was unstable in his mindset. He was acting out, yelling and screaming while we were doing the session. But after the second session, you know, I continued to allow him to express himself the way he knew how. We had the directives, but still he did his own style of it. After the second session, we made a breakthrough. And it got to the point we had multiple sessions, and we even wrote a book. And he had his degree in literature, so we compiled all his artwork pieces. We wrote up the book in a day, like not even a day, in like an hour, like for every page or 2 sessions, and we printed it. And the facility, his parents, everybody were like blown away for the progress that he made from when he first came in to where he was at that time. So it just shows you that the arts work, and we really are pushing it not only for program, but for businesses, and just to really make an impact around the world. Like, I believe in world healing, not just in one small section. I really want to do really big things to make an impact and touch people's lives. You know, I think many times we think we are so small-minded, and we think we are afraid of like stepping beyond of what people are going to think or say. But, you know, we can't be like that, you know. if you have a passion and a goal, we got to go for it. And really, if you believe in it, share it with the world. Now, don't be afraid to share your ideas with people. Oh, I'm afraid people are going to steal it. That's honestly, I was reading a book back in the day, and they were even saying that that's a compliment if somebody wants to steal your ideas. So don't be afraid of it. There's enough, I would say, finances or enough like, I don't know what word I'm looking for, but you know, we're all going to be striving towards helping people. A lot of us are, so don't worry about it. You know. We're here at Postmodern Skate Shop. I usually get some of my gear here, and this is a really cool space. Is a boutique really, and whereas they have like exclusive gear and exclusive like boards, shoes, all these things they have here. So my size of board I usually like riding is usually like 8.5, and I really love skate graphics because the individuality of the art and just being unique in their art style. And there are tons of other boards here on the walls, but you know, I really just love just even the smell of skateboards, the wheels, everything about it. Screen prints that they do to get the work on the boards. Sometimes the graphics may be ever slick, where there's already like embedded material in here so you can slide better. But it's all made out of wood, layers of wood. So everything about it I really enjoy. So I just want to talk a little about the gear that a lot of skaters wear. And there's a lot of influence that comes from hip hop, alternative, you know, rock. Everything is in the gear that we wear, you know, and it connects with the skating. So even from my shoes, like these shoes here, DCs, they're one of my favorite. And I love the OG style because I'm older. I love the OG kind of style skating, just a bigger, chunkier kind of style of shoe. I'm so glad they brought it back, because before it wasn't like this. They went through a period where they stopped making these kind of shoes, but I always wear DCs. Whatever I could get my hands on DC, I'll wear it. So yeah, the DCs, they have a lot of good padding, like on the sides here. For all the tricks that you do, there's protective gear around it to make sure that, you know, your shoe is protected, even from the soles, you know, for the grip on the board. You know, there's cushioning inside, and even from the soles to make sure that when you land your tricks, there's cushion inside to make sure that, you know, your feet are protected. You know, they're just a well-built, stylish shoe. And just even for all the gear that we wear, we like a lot of hoodies, especially during the winter time. Like, there's not much winter in the Florida season, but even when there is, everybody will bust out their hoodie gears, and, you know, really cool jeans or shorts, depending on the time of the day it is. You know, so all these companies are into skating now. Nike, Converse, Adidas, Reebok. Like, everybody has just fluctuated. Even Dickies have got into skating. So as I was saying before, that skating is definitely going to take over the world. It's already getting to that point, as we're just in the Olympics. And even all the clothing in here, the shirts and everything like that, as I said, the individuality of like creating the art and putting it on, like screen printing it on, whether it may be on the t-shirts, is really cool. almost got to switch you.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, now, Brian, this was intense, man. I'm glad you brought me out here. I'm not versed into this world as much as you do, but I know you got your buddy here with you. What you tell us about him? Introduce yourself a little bit to the camera, and then we'll add you to the episode. You know?
Okay, cool. So yeah, this is my bro Dao. You know, we met up here, I think over almost 2 years ago. He was just skating with his wife, passing by, and it was just like, cool. This guy just seems super cool. Let me just connect with him. You know, I was kind of skating with a couple of heads, and we connected. From that moment on, we got close. So it was just really, really awesome. He filmed a lot of my skating, and I filmed him. He filmed the mural intro. We gave it to the city. You know, we did a lot of good work together. So yeah, we've just been bros ever since. So I'll let him talk a little bit about himself, like his filming career, all that kind of stuff.
Well, originally from Atlanta, that's where everything pretty much started for myself. Been skating since I was, around 15. That's all the way back to 1995. So I'm old school. So from that on, I've been doing video and skating, and really took it upon myself to take it further with filming, and done a lot of projects, professionally and hobbyist. So I just transitioned and took that hobby to a profession I love. This is a first love for me. So
And what's your profession? What was your profession that you were into?
Well, I started graphic design, and graphic design led to filming. I have a knack for, you know, being creative. I do music as well. So all these arts that I possess, I just combined them, and it led me to a lot of great things in my life. So right now I'm just wanting to express more of that talent, give my feedback on this great lifestyle of skateboarding.
Yeah, and like to know that, you know, a lot of skaters are creatives, and the skating opens up doors for art, film, just it pushes them to a whole other level that people don't realize. Right-brained, you know, majorly. So the majority of skaters are extremely creative, and so like this process we got going on, like the filmer and the skater relationship, is so empowering, and it's just wild because for me, filmers are just so committed to getting the trick and to editing it and just putting it together, and they push you, you know, and they would do multiple takes, and you might mess up a lot, and they don't even care, you know. They go for it, and they just, that one clip was all worth it,
Yeah.
you know.